What? It gets worse. Someone hacked Koda's medical records. He was taking antidepressants, but his prescription got cancelled, and all records of his mental illness were wiped.
Most unfortunate.
He tried to get refills on his medication, but was denied every time, and eventually Koda went off his meds. Psychological collapse followed. This is all sorts of messed up, Valkyrie. You definitely are a piece of work. I should have spoken up. I've been quietly following the Koda situation out of a strange sort of curiosity, like watching a car crash from a distance. That's why, when he tried to kill himself, I asked my aunt to step in and investigate. It felt off. If I was going to murder someone, that's how I'd do it. I'd find their emotional weakness, exploit them, and let the problem solve itself. But an Iris almost killed someone? Seriously? What sort of twisted code of ethics is Valkyrie teaching her Iris that she'd be willing to go that far? Domino's right, but this is too indirect to accountably be considered murder. Valkyrie and her Iris simply arranged to push Koda over the edge. He was already in emotional peril after we humiliated him in front of the internet, and encouraging push isn't illegal technically. But to me, this was murder. Punchy78 warned me. He warned me Valkyrie held grudges and never let them go. Koda embarrassed Valkyrie. She wasn't going to let that slide. I could easily see her asking her Iris to mess with him, to teach him a lesson. A rather harsh lesson. We are clearly dealing with a narcissistic sociopath. Heck yes we are. I knew that from the get-go. A sociopath with an emotionally vulnerable Iris. So Valkyrie's entire return to glory storyline, coming back from retirement and putting her enemies down in the process, nothing but a manufactured series of lies. And given how far she's gone with this, I doubt she's done causing harm. So Valkyrie is absolute scum. The question becomes, what do we do about it? We're headed for another showdown, aren't we? We qualified for the Pro Tour, and so did Team P2W. That means facing Valkyrie again. You just know that if she cheats to beat us in a charity show match, she'll absolutely cheat to destroy us in the main event. We can't let this slide. Gotta do something, right?
This can't be happening.
We need to save her Iris, that poor child manipulated by Valkyrie's twisted whims. Not to mention Hunter, who's caught in the middle of all of this. No way he would be okay with this scheme. I know him. But if Valkyrie is willing to kill Koda just for embarrassing her, what would she do to us if we try to expose her?
I don't
This
know.
is bigger than I ever thought it'd be.
know.
Maybe bigger than our little team can take on. Dangerous or not, we can't let her get away with these crimes. YOLO, I say we destroy her. I don't think we have a choice. We have to act. I don't think we really have a way to get a say in this, folks. We're both going to the Pro Tour. We're going to face her again, and she'll certainly hack our match. If we don't act, that's basically giving up before we've even begun.
As you wish.
Then we will act. So be it. What's your plan for exposing the crimes of Victoria Proud and toppling the throne of Team Play to win? How will we beat her, you ask? Simple. I have no idea, but I'm hoping it'll be simple. Oh, it's quite simple, actually. We just need to install a packet sniffer and cheat detector package in the FOD2 machine, and it'll detect when her Iris hacks in. Great. How do we do that? Well, I guess we can convince the Pro Tour organizers to install custom software of my own design, and trust when it says Valkyrie is cheating. Maybe this isn't so simple after all. I don't think one little newcomer team, especially one that has beaten by P2W in the past, will be able to convince them. So we require leverage, something that will give us credibility, or at least a position of strength, to be allowed to expose Valkyrie. This is going to take some planning. And given I've been through an emotional ringer today, my brain is shutting down. Can we pick this up tomorrow? I'll consider options and get back to you. Of course, we trust you find a path through this unknown territory. Bearing in mind that one misstep will result in what little we have left of our public image being annihilated, effectively ending Magnificent Seven forever. Yeah, let's avoid that. If we can. It's official. I am in way over my head here. Defending my team and esports as a whole from a megalomaniacal tyrant willing to kill to get what she wants. This isn't about winning or losing anymore. It's not about my championship glory, my dreams of victory. Now we must fight to survive. And I can't find a way out of this situation. It'll be the end of Mectivist. And if I can't find a way out of this situation, it'll be the end of Mectivist 7, and possibly my life. No pressure, man. Yeah, this is why it says it's just a game. There are more important things, and this is definitely a more important thing. You've cleared level 7 of Arcade Spirits. The new challengers, Victory. Let's take a look at your scores. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you scored 34,900 points. The winner is you. Would you like to change your personal metadata this time? No, I'm good to go. Do you want to save your name? The final level. Onward to level 8. Okay, so supposedly we are about to go into the final chapter, or final level. Winner stays on. I feel like it would be poetic if we actually lost. But by losing, we won. By losing the championship, we win. This is not about winning and losing. Just like I said, maybe it never really was. This is about deciding who you are and what you believe in. It's about making a stand. I don't know if it's possible to win. We fought hard to reach the end of this road, but the final result is going to be tainted. Odds are, we won't be granted the title of champion even if we do somehow win. But I don't care anymore. I will stand resolute against the ones who want me to fade away, Valkyrie and my own self-loathing. Because even if I can't win, I will not lose. Yeah, I like that. Cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for this. It is the distant future, year 20XX, and we're apparently all that stands against the dark future of esports corruption. It's not exactly what I was aiming to accomplish when I started on this path, but you play the game in front of you, not the game you wanted to play. That's actually ironically and kind of hauntingly similar to a quote that I just quoted recently, actually. One of my favorite quotes when I was reading a bunch of parenting books, you know, since I have 2 kids now, 2 small kids. And one of my favorite quotes, which I feel like will help me throughout parenting, is love and raise the child that you have, not the child that you want. You know, many parents, which is totally normal, will say things to themselves like, I wish my kid wasn't so picky of an eater. I wish my kid was into baseball like I was. I wish my kid, you know, didn't have X, Y, and Z, which is very easy to say when they're being very challenging or difficult, or they're having tantrums and stuff, etc., etc. And, you know, the sentiment is, it's perfectly human, perfectly understandable to kind of think about, you know, the kid that you could have, like wishing that your kid had this different personality or did not have whatever these challenges were. But at the end of the day, you really need to come to terms with that and just be prepared to raise and to love the child that you have, not the child that you want. So it's very similar to this. Valkyrie is forcing her Iris to cheat at FOD2 so she can rise all the way to the top. What's more, she's proven ready and willing to hurt anyone who stands against her. Naturally, I've chosen to stand against this. Not a smart move for my continued well-being, but if I care one whit about fair play or even human decency, there's no other option. Well, we can't just call hacks on her. Nobody would believe us. We need evidence, and we need to sway the Pro Tour's organizers to hear that evidence. Not a task that Magnificent 7 can accomplish alone. We're gonna need leverage. But before I can arrange any sort of leverage, it seems I've got one last task on my list to take care of. Temptation. Here I am in the belly of the beast, the penthouse lair of team play to win. At the top of the skyscraper, as if attempting to rival Mount Olympus, P2W work and play and work and work, all under the command of one Victoria Proud. Valkyrie, coach, manager, owner, cheat, swindler, arguably also an attempted murderer.
And of course, our players have private rooms. I know most of your team are playing bunkmates to save money, but here we respect your privacy. And the view's terrific from up here, of course. There's also a hot tub on the deck when you want to relax after a hard day of training. We've got all the energy drinks you could want in our 7 different fridges.
Ooh, 7 fridges. What a life of luxury. I nod along, only half paying attention to her sales pitch. Valkyrie arranged this meeting with me, and while I have my guesses as to why, she's happier to give me the tour first. None of it sways me, but I pretend to care as she lists the many perks of being part of P2W. Flexing our power and wealth before we get down to business.
And of course, we're well stocked with products provided by all our sponsors. so we're never lacking for gear or snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I sense you're not amused by our humble abode. You want to get on with business, yes? Okay. Tour over. Let's talk.
She pauses, letting the whole aura of the place sink in and entice me before speaking.
I invited you here today for one simple reason.
You don't have a life.
I want to recruit you.
Whatevers. What?
I know. We've been at each other's throats since the start of this. We're destined to face each other in the finals. So you're thinking, why would Val extend the olive branch?
Because she thinks I'm an idiot, which is not true.
I'll tell you. The fact of the matter is that you're going to lose the championship. Remember, I told you we'd beat you at Pengy Paradise, and I wasn't lying. This is no different. You can't win this one.
Yeah, even though I can't win it, once people find out you cheated, you're the one that's gonna lose. This just can't be overconfidence. She's going to cheat. This time we're ready. We're gonna set the trap and bait her into it. When she cheats, we'll be ready. Maybe next time she'll think before she cheats. But why offer to hire me for her team if she knows she can stop us so easily? May as well just ask. Yeah, why indeed? I don't get it. Why? Are you hoping I'll back out of the tournament?
No, Play 2 Win needs to defeat your team in a fully sanctioned and official match.
They need
Until
to.
now, we've only beaten your team in unofficial show matches. And I want it on record. And once the dust settles from this, once your team is shown to be nothing but a squad of laundromat casuals, there's no reason you can't switch sides and join the real champions. See that ambition of yours through to the end.
People like us because we are laundromat casuals.
I'm sure you care about your friends, and that's noble. But you also know they aren't winners. Not like you.
Oh, suddenly you think I'm a winner.
Pushing them to become a professional team was a mistake. It's time to realize that, and realize the only path to your glory lies with me. My vision? After you lose the finals, your team disbands and you join me. Everybody wins.
Because I feel like hanging out with you, with my manager, is going to be like a dream come true. Wow, you are an idiot, Valkyrie.
Sound good to you?
Why would you think that would ever sound good to me? I'm already where I belong with my friends. What? And work myself to death under your yoke? Nah. You're assuming we're going to lose. I'm assuming we're going to win. What? And work myself to death under your woke? Nah. You keep bragging about your hot tubs and your pool table and your arcade games, but honestly, I see unused toys. Look at the dust on those joysticks. You work your team to the bone, pushing them hard for the glory of the championship, for your glory, and I'm done being a part of that sort of thing. I've come to understand something, Valkyrie. A win isn't worth it if you destroy yourself getting across the finish line. So you can take your generous offer and stick it straight up your how assiduous. I see we can't come to terms. It's a pity, but I did my best. You can go now. This meeting is over. Obligingly, I turn to leave. But there's one more thing I could do. It's risky. It's possibly a terrible idea, honestly. But maybe it's the right thing to do. Offer a chance to admit her cheating and give up. No second chances. She has to bring herself down. Why would I let her know that... The thing is, why would I let her know that we know that she's cheating? Offer her a chance to admit her cheating and give up. No second chances. She has to bring herself down. It doesn't make strategic sense to offer a chance to admit her cheating, because she's just gonna deny it. But I guess to show that I'm a better person, I'll offer her a chance, and just being meta, if I was being meta, just believe the game is gonna give me an opportunity to still take her down a peg. Offer a chance to admit her cheating and give up. My character seems to think it's a stupid idea, but wants to do it anyway. I'm risking a lot, perhaps tipping my hand about the trap we're setting for her to step into. But if I'm to be a moral person, a good person, I have to offer the chance at redemption. Miss Proud, you don't want to do this. Think about it for a minute. Your legacy is on the line. You're risking every legitimate accomplishment you've ever had. When the time comes to face us on stage, I beg you, please don't do what we both know you're going to do. I have no idea what you're talking about. I think you do. When you look back trying to figure out where everything went wrong, this is that moment. This is where it all went wrong. Oh snap, this is amazing. I'm offering you a chance to stop this before you lose it all. What are you up to, Angel Arts? What's all this about exactly? I can't risk confirming anything, I have to keep this vague. When we face each other again, I trust you'll do the right thing, and let fate decide who will stand and who will fall. Until that day, Miss Proud, I take my leave. She knows what I'm talking about. She orchestrated all of this, and now, hopefully, I planted a seed of guilt that will grow. Probably not. Maybe when we fight on the grand stage, we can see who will win and who will lose by skill alone. Well, we'll see. One trap thoroughly baited, except for one teensy-weensy problem. We don't actually have a trap yet, just a pile of bait waiting for a proper trap to be built around it. Angel Hearts, you are super not great at metaphors. Hey, at least he's consistently bad at them. There's something to be said for consistency. However, I have a fine array of steel-jawed traps available for the choosing. That's why I've gathered the team today. I want us to select the means by which we shall enact justice upon Valkyrie. This is what I was waiting for, because one thing about this game that I missed so far from the first game is just the ability of the last game to create our own arcade, our own business, and have so many different options on how to create and run that business. That's something that I was like hoping something similar to that would come upon this one. And so I think this might be this part, I think. If some of the common themes from both games is a thing. Indeed, we must be thoughtful in matters of justice. In dealing with Kodo, we were a bit thoughtless. We can do better. We need to make sure Valkyrie's crimes are exposed, but also do it in a way that's fair and efficient. Okay, so some of my proposals may not meet those standards, but hear me out. I want to lay everything on the table before we decide. I think we have 4 options here. I'm confident enough in my ability to make all 4 work, so it's just a question of which one we want to run with. I'm curious about it. 4 options? That's way more than I could think of. The first candidate on offer is probably the most obvious one. Punchy78, lead reporter for Fight Shack. I do like Punchy. I've spoken to before, and he seemed eager to support our team. Maybe it's just for the clicks on his articles about us, but does that really matter? Punchy's been following our rivalry with Team Play to Win closely and keeping the public informed, so involving him is a natural next step. It's simple enough. We tell Punchy78 everything we know about Valkyrie's crimes, offer juicy details for his website, get everything out there for the public to see. And in return, he uses his connections to get us before the pro tour organizers, so we can convince them to run Grace's anti-cheat detection software. We catch Valkyrie in the trap, expose her cheating, and Fight Shack's right there to get the word out far and wide.
I see your point.
I've worked with Fight Shack in the past. Punchy would be more than happy to help us out. He's a great guy.
I anticipate failure.
Except he's also given Valkyrie just as much glowing praise. Her comeback story wouldn't have been possible without Fight Shack.
Bad idea.
Used to do freelance copy editing for websites before we turned pro. Trust me when I say the press can and will spin anything for more ad revenue and more clicks. And even if Punchy's totally in our corner, Valkyrie's adept at manipulating public image. She could easily slip out from under this. Okay, well, we have another option. If what we want is justice, there's a direct and simple appeal we can make. We call the cops on her, and they sort this mess out. On the night of the code incident, I spoke with an officer in charge of cybercrime, fraud, harassment, things like that, Detective Ji Woo Cho. The cops are supposed to be the ones you call at times like these, and this is Domino's aunt. We can have some confidence we'll see justice done.
Sure thing.
Trust me, Auntie's on the level. She's one of the only people in the family who gives a single solitary stuff about me. Ji Woo will make this work.
No f***ing way.
The cops? Seriously? No effing way. We don't need the pigs in on this. Sorry, Dom, but auntie or not, aunt or no auntie, bacon always smells like bacon. Thank goodness for that.
No thanks.
That's right. This would result in a much larger scale public scandal, putting us and the scene in a bad light. We have to think about the health of the esports community as a whole. Okay, so there's another option, even though it's even riskier, I'll warn. I know this one's going to sound ridiculous, but you know me. You know I wouldn't lie to you about something this important. Back at the Max, I was contacted by a mysterious woman in black from some unknown branch of the federal government. For reasons a bit too weird to get into, involving my brain nearly getting scrubbed by, a haunted arcade game. What? Bear with me. This agent said if I had any information about someone abusing the technology behind Iris, I should call her. We know Valkyrie is manipulating her Iris to dominate the scene, cheating at contests, and harassing her enemies into the grave, abusing the tech this woman is trying to control. This is risky. This is positively the same one who shut down the Iris project because of its strange origins, but she is a strong contender for maybe making this whole situation go away.
Impressive.
Something keenly appealing about Valkyrie vanishing into some CIA prison, assuming this supposed mystery woman is CIA, or NSA, or FBI, or whatever. I have a feeling the two characters that'll be opposed to this would be Grace and Loxley, just guessing. Trust you when you say you aren't making up this weirdness, and I'm in favor of a measured but risky play. I say why not? Yeah, got it, right here. Why not? Because that's the woman who nearly murdered Iris. Angel Arts is right. She was involved in the shutdown, and now we want her to handle someone abusing Iris? We can't risk it. She's the one who demanded Iris be killed. She's the one I've been scared of, the reason I haven't been involved in Iris's life. But this is a two birds, one stone situation. I've thought this through. In return for offering up a criminal abusing Iris's technology, we can negotiate a peace treaty, get her off Iris's back. This could be good for both Magnificent Seven and the Iris Collective. A long shot, an extreme long shot. I have my doubts about this, Angel Arts, and I believe you know why. I can do it. You turn me loose and you'll see what I can do. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about this one because, again, Grace and Loxley are my two favorite characters. And they're not really keen on this idea. We play our cards right, we can secure justice for Valkyrie and justice for Iris. And that brings me to the final option, which might be the most extreme one of the bunch. We have an in with the team that's running the Iris Collective, a gang of justice-minded hackers. Angel Arts. This is going to mean outing Loxley to the group, but maybe it's time. If we're going to have our best chance at righting these wrongs, it has to be done. This isn't the time for Cloak and Dagger. It's high time we put all our cards on the table, Loxley. Do you agree? Huh? I see. So be it. For the glory of Magnificent Seven and for justice itself. I'm embroiled with a group called the Ghost Monsters. They are indeed the anonymous hacker group behind the Iris Collective. Loxley. My true purpose here was to watch over Grace, to ensure she remains safe and free from involvement in our crimes. The Irises tasked us with this, out of love for the Creator.
I offer my sincere apologies.
I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry, everyone. My original reason for coming to Good Clean Fun was subterfuge. Huh? What? What? That explains a few things, notably why you're so keen on spending time with Grace. I wasn't expecting to get involved in an international cloak and dagger affair, and yet, here we are. We trusted you as friends, companions, and teammates. This was all a farce? On the contrary, I believe it to be real with all my heart. I hold fast to those I care for, and I consider you all my cherished friends. But the honest truth of it is that my original purpose was dishonorable. If you wish me to depart this team, I will understand. Heck no, Loxley. Stick your sexy hiney right here. I already knew. What? I knew. I knew all along that you were working with Iris. I am very smart, you know.
That's wonderful.
But I also knew you did out of love for Iris, and so I didn't say anything. That kept us all safe, and I didn't want you to feel like you failed in your mission. I apologized. I failed in more ways than I can count. It's alright, Loxley. I know what to do to help to make you feel better. There's nothing to apologize for. You were in a difficult position, and if I can forgive any supposed transgression, I hope the rest of the Magnificent Seven can too, right?
Okay, sure. Why
I'm
not?
generally in favor of sneaky bees fighting for the side of good, and it's not like we aren't already knee-deep in weirdness, so hey, damage done, move on. Can't say I'm thrilled, but it's Grace's call as the person most effective. I trust her judgment, you should too.
Wait.
I am 15
What?
different flavors of confusion right now. Bottom line in it for me, please, are we going to jail? We should be in the clear, Zap. Even if one of our teams is a cyber criminal with pirated software, we're hardly accomplices. But let's put that aside and focus on the original point. Loxley's allies, the ones running the Iris Collective, could help us. How? Alright, let me continue. With Loxley's help, we can reach out to the team and ask the Ghost Monsters to dig up solid evidence on Valkyrie's crimes, then leak it all to the internet. They can likely also help us to get the anti-cheat software installed so we can detect Valkyrie's crimes live and direct. Honestly, this is the most powerful option we have on the table. It sinks us deeper and deeper into wild conspiracy, but it's a strong win. The court of public opinion will take over after all the dirt comes out, and we walk free with all the plausible deniability Rhapsody mentioned. Okay, this is too much. Could we dial it back from Hollywood thriller levels and just focus on getting Valkyrie slam dunked in public? Yeah, even if this would be a near-distant win for us, we'd be better off not digging ourselves any deeper than we need to. So, those are the options we've got. We asked Punchy70 for help working within esports to let Valkyrie be tried in the media. She may weasel out of it somehow, but it's clean and ethical. We call in Detective Cho to bring Valkyrie to justice and clean up the gaming scene in the process through heavy-handed but legitimate channels. We take the gamble and get the woman in black to quietly handle this matter, and maybe even save Iris from this old enemy. Or we turn to the anonymous hackers known as the Ghost Monsters to completely obliterate Valkyrie from orbit with digital evidence. I strongly believe that all of these options will work. I will make them work, so I won't be afraid of failure. But given every single option has had people for and against, I'm not sure which one we should go with. All those in favor of dumping this decision wholly on the head of our coach, /manager, /candwrangler, so we don't have to deal with this nonsense ourselves? Yeah, okay, plus that way if someone goes to jail, it's not me. I trust Angel Arson's decisions. A great team manager and a good friend. I'm sure his choice will work out fine, right? I have concerns, but loyalty means faith and trust. I will trust in you and put faith in your strategy. Me, I'm thinking this is one reason why we pay you the big bucks, so you can deal with stuff like this. You don't pay me anything. Point is that you should go with what your heart tells you, okay? Okay. Thank you, everyone. I am certain I can make any of these options work. I wouldn't have brought them up as options if I wasn't sure of that. With that in mind, the ally we're going to choose will be... So, this is very interesting. The ones that I'm most interested in, just like as a gut reaction... Punchy78, I like Punchy78. He's a cool guy. I think he's the most straightforward, but like Angel Arts said, it's the most clean and ethical one, which I kind of like a lot. Detective Cho is a really cool spin. I like the idea of having, Domino's aunt involved in this and having the police officially take her down. Like there's something about the law enforcement having a hand in this that is kind of appealing to me. The woman black is my least favorite of these options. It is cool to have somebody in the shadows, kind of pulling the strings and cleaning up this mess, so to speak, without, most of the public being the wiser. But I'm not digging her attitude. I'm not looking forward to working with her personally. She just seems like a hard A to work on. Granted, that probably makes her very effective, but not really looking forward to interacting with her. And I'd rather go with somebody that I have an actual interest in interacting with. I think that's probably going to be the thing that'll ultimately make my decision easier. And plus, both Grace and Loxley, my two favorite characters, are not really big into that option. What they are big into is the Ghost Monsters, which sounds like the most quote-unquote canon. It sounds like the best way to just shut Valkyrie down completely and just destroy her. That feels like it might very well be the highest risk, but I think it'll end up being the most effective. With Punchy78 possibly being the least effective because there seems to be so many ways that she can get out of it. Ultimately, I'm not a huge fan of Tsunami. She seems to be a lot cooler this game than she was in the last game, but not enough for me to really be all that interested to deal with her, to kind of hang with her or collaborate with her. So same with the woman in black. I'm not really jumping out of my seat to collaborate with her. Detective Cho I think would be really cool. I like her a lot just from this brief moment we had interacting with her. I think it would be neat. But Punchy78 is by far the one that I want to interact with the most. Even though he might not be the most effective, he's the one that, they said go with your heart, and my heart immediately is telling me I really want to go with Punchy78 because I just like the character more than the other three. And I don't know. We'll see if it actually succeeds. Punchy78, we expose her through the gaming press.